So who here has had a friend over to their house before? We've all done this, experienced this, friends and family. Probably a lot of it is going to be happening today. And this can be a fun experience, especially if it's the first time. You've shared a good amount of time and memory with this person. And now they get to see where you live and where you sleep and where you binge watch Netflix and have dinner with your family. There's something special about these moments, this first time you invite someone over. Now, second question, who here has had a messy room or a messy part of the house, right? It's a good reason to have a party sometimes. You need to clean your house to have a friend over. And we've all had this messy room that's on our mind. And sometimes there's maybe so much mess in the house that we have this one particular room that all the stuff is crammed into. All the extra clothes, the old newspapers, the toys, the leftover shrapnel from Taco Bell yesterday, or I don't know, whichever. But this is the last room you would want your guest to be in and to see. And usually the door is locked to this room, and it's kept closed. But what are we celebrating here today? Christmas. We celebrate, opening gifts that come under the tree, singing fun songs and eating good food and being with family and friends. Certainly, we celebrate something deeper today. We celebrate the beautiful mess of God literally coming into our world to be with us. Because who is Jesus? Well, Jesus, he's not just a fun preacher man with beard and sandals, even though that's kind of a fun image. But as Christians, we believe that he is God himself, the incarnate Son of God. And Jesus' own birth was not exactly pretty to say. There was no room for him in the place where it was nice and clean, in the inn. He was born into a manger, literally a trough, where animals eat their food. And of course, the animals are there as well. And animals aren't exactly the cleanest or the most good-smelling things on the planet. Jesus was born into a messy but a real place. Is this really how God was supposed to come and be with us? Well, we know that our own lives can be messy from time to time. Things that have happened that are hard, that we haven't expected, and have really challenged us. Someone who has gotten sick and has been diagnosed. Someone who has lost their job. Someone who's been or experienced bullying in school. Or maybe the mess comes from our own life decisions. How we kind of messy up things. Being mean to others and gossiping. Lying or stealing, staying angry at someone and not forgiving, keeping God a bit on the back burner as kind of an afterthought. Life can get messy and smelly sometimes. So why is Christianity important? Why is a living and breathing relationship with Jesus important? I'll give you a hint. It's not just because you can put a nifty bumper sticker on your car that says you're a parishioner at St. Gabriel's Parish. Think again of the friend you want to have over for a visit. Jesus is a friend who doesn't just want to come and sit in the cleanest room of your house, where everything appears to be fine. He wants to go to the dirtiest room, where you've shoved all the stuff you've been trying to clean. Not because he wants to laugh at you or embarrass you, but because he wants to be with you and to help clean. Even though things happen, even though life is not easy, Jesus doesn't want your life to be messy and unhappy. He created you to know true happiness and the most of life. Christianity is important because God has chosen to enter into the mess with us. And guess what? We don't have to wait for everything to get super messy to invite Jesus over. We can invite him in right here and now. We can be disciples right here and now. It's nurturing that life of God within us, nurturing the sanctity to which we are all called, that helps us to prepare for those dealings that we have to deal with, the messiness of life that will come. Even though our lives are so greatly blessed, life is not easy, and everything can change in a moment. That's why we're called to be Christians, not part of the time, but all of the time. Thank you for those who have come today when it was not easy, bringing the kids along, tired and cranky maybe a bit from waking up super early. But God will bless your sacrifice. So ultimately, our connection with God in worship here today, that will help save us. Today, whether we know it or not, this is a profound experience with God. And even though it's been difficult maybe getting here, maybe we're tired or infuriated about something, it doesn't make God any less present in his word that we heard proclaimed, or in the Eucharist, his real presence in the bread and the wine that are his true body and blood poured out for us. It's in the Eucharist here today that we receive that God enters into the messiness of our lives. A really good friend would come over and help you clean your house. And that would take a bit of vulnerability, a bit of trust in that friend. But it's only the love of only a God of a deep and infinite love that would be able to enter into the messiness of the human heart to bring healing and new life. Where do we need to enter? Where does Jesus need to enter more deeply into our lives today? Because ultimately, we want ultimate happiness and peace. In a word, a clean room. And Christianity is important because it is this receiving of Jesus into the messiness of our lives. But secondly, that we can experience the joy of heaven, not just someday, but here and now. That is the joy of Christmas, that God just couldn't wait to be with us, that he desired even to enter into our messiness. He became one of us. He gave his life for us so that we could all be with him one day in heavenly glory. From all of us here at St. Gabriel's, know that we love you and you are in our prayers and you have our support throughout this year. And please come and be with us throughout this year as we all journey towards God more closely and come to more deeply know his presence in our lives. Merry Christmas.